Welcome to your next edition of Stevia Chef. Today we're going to do one of my favorites, one of my personal favorites, is lemon poppy muffins. Now, cooking muffins, typically you're going to use sugar, but here we're making them sugar-free using JAJA Stevioside. It's a little bit trickier, but you don't have to worry about it rising and everything. They won't rise. They're just going to stay at the same level of however you put them into the cups. Okay, so our ingredients are lemon juice, and what I did was I pre-mixed 1 teaspoon of JAJA Stevioside into lemon juice. I don't know if you can see this here, but I pre-mixed that so you don't have to watch me stir it in. Poppy seeds, we have flour, we have baking powder, baking soda, coconut oil. You can use, if you want, you can use butter, but I like to make these dairy free. And then there's eggs. Now the eggs will be 3 cups of flour, and we will use 6 eggs. So basically 2 eggs per cup. And let's go ahead and get started. And the first thing we have to do is crack some eggs. I like to use this knife to do this. Goes much faster that way. And there we go. There's 6 eggs in here now. Okay, now that we're done with that, we'll move that out of the way. And we take a whisk and just mix these up, kind of beat the eggs. And I also like to kind of whip them up a little bit. And then when you're done, they look kind of like this. Okay. The next thing we do, we'll kind of set this aside here for the time being. What I like to do next is add the baking powder and the baking soda. The amount of first we'll put the vanilla. The amount of vanilla that you use is you'll use just one of the little things of extract. It's about 1 fluid ounce. So I just like to dump in the whole thing. It gives it a little more of a vanilla taste. And then we'll take the whisk and just whisk it around a little bit. A little more. Something with coconut oil, it's going to be kind of solid, but that doesn't, it won't, when it's at room temperature it gets solid. When it's lower than room temperature, or when it's higher than room temperature, then it will become a liquid at a certain temperature. I find it very good for baking. It also adds a little bit of the taste. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, well, we'll add the baking powder. And for the baking powder, what we're going to do is 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So I've got my measure here. Now be very careful when you're buying the baking powder. You want to make sure that it has no GMO in it. And that's one of the reasons why I like this Rumford baking powder, because it has no GMO. But be very careful to read the label. So there's one, there's two, and there's three. Okay, then again we'll just mix this in. Now, one of the reasons why you're going to mix the Stevioside into the lemon juice is because you want it to dissolve into the liquid and make a concentrate, and then you mix that into whatever you're making, mix it into your batter so that you can get a good disbursement. If you don't do that, then you don't get a good disbursement, and you end up with clumps that are super sweet and clumps that have no sweetness at all. So now it's just getting this baking powder to dissolve. Okay, next thing that we're going to do, we're going to add in the baking soda. And for the baking soda would be 1.5 tablespoons. Now, I prefer baking soda as opposed to salt, although baking soda is a salt, but it's not the full salt. So there's 1.5, 2, and that will give 1 1/2 tablespoons of baking soda. So now we'll mix this in. Now again, this recipe has no yeast in it. And it is, I found that it works better to do it in the order that I'm putting things in right now, as opposed to using a different, putting things in a different order. Okay, so that's all blended in. We'll take that out because now we're going to start putting in the flour. All in all, you're looking probably about 45 minutes to make this, and that includes the bake time. Okay, I'm using organic flour here. Got this over at Target. You don't have to be real precise on it. So this would be 1 cup. Two cups. 3 cups. 4. Now, there's several different things you can use in order to mix this up. You can use a spoon, you could use a knife, you could use the whisk, chopsticks. Okay, actually what I did was I made a mistake and I got a little carried away on the flour and put 6 cups in. So I had to take some out, so in reality you're only using 3 cups. You can see it's a lot less than what it was. The best thing that I found for stirring this in is actually using chopsticks, and we can just blend this in like so. Just be careful as you're blending it. You don't want to spill flour all over the place. And this will become kind of a thicker, drier type of a dough. I'll show you that as soon as it's blended here. But don't worry about that, because you're going to be adding the lemon juice to it, which is going to liquefy a little bit, make it a little bit thinner. The other thing, people wonder, do I have to use oil when I'm cooking? Or do I have to use some fat in here when I'm cooking? Whether it's butter or whether it's oil or coconut oil or what have you. And the answer is yes, because if you don't, it becomes like a hockey puck and it's just too dry. But when you mix the oil in, it just helps it to be a little bit more spongy, like what it should be, and softer. The outside will be nice and crisp, and the inside of the muffin will be a lot softer. And we're also going to take the extra that we have left after filling in some of the cups, and we're going to make some lemon poppy cookies too, which tastes really good. Same exact dough, you don't change anything. It's just a matter of you put the cookies on a cookie sheet, or put the batter on a cookie sheet, as opposed to putting the batter in the muffin cups. Okay, so this pretty much does it, and let's get a shot of this here, if you can see it. And the next thing we'll do, now we're ready to put in the lemon juice. Well, actually we should put in the poppies first. Get that to spread around a little bit. So for the poppy seeds, you could use a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup, or even 1 cup. It's all up to whatever your taste is that you want. Here, what we're going to do is this will be about 3/4 of a cup. So you've got the poppy seeds in there. Now we'll blend those in, mix those in a little bit. Okay, so now that we've got the poppies in and they're mixed in, now we put in the lemon juice that I've already mixed the Stevioside into, the JAJA Stevioside. And JAJA Stevioside is the recommended Stevioside because it is 100% pure. There's no fillers in it. There's been a lot of stuff going around lately with a lot of companies making all kinds of ridiculous statements and claims that the FDA is making them add all kinds of garbage into their product, and that's a lie. Stick with something that's pure. And I've always had great success with the JAJA Stevioside. The taste is really good. It doesn't give any bitterness or anything, and that's my favorite. Now what will happen is when you start to mix this in, because you've got the baking soda in here, the baking soda and the lemon juice is going to froth up a little bit. And I'm going to mix this in, and then we'll be right. The JAJA Stevioside looks like. And you can get this at emperorsherbologist.com. They sell direct. This is what the coconut oil looks like. So you can see it's just a solid. And I've got you can use between a half a cup, a 1/4 cup to a half a cup. And now I'm just going to mix this in into the mix, and I will be right back once this is mixed in. Now once it's all mixed, then you can start to fill in the cupcake. So that's what we're going to do right now. By the way, with the oil, if you're using butter, then you would use about 1.5 cups of melted butter. With the coconut oil, again, you want to use about between 1/4 to 1/2 of a cup. Okay, so I'll see you as soon as these are filled in. Cups, and you can see that unfortunately I didn't have enough left in order to make the cookies. But we've got the muffins, and you can see that some of them are up to the top, some of them are not, and this was done, one, because I can't exactly get everything to the same exact level, but two, after these are baked, you'll be able to see how much the rising difference is between them. We're going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes, and then we'll be all done. Okay, so I'll see you as soon as they're baked. The dough is at, or the batter, it's going to be about the consistency of bread dough. So anybody who's made bread, if you've made bread, you know what bread dough consistency is, and that's pretty much what it's going to feel like as you're putting it into the muffins. Okay, so after about 20 minutes, the muffins will be ready. You'll be able to smell them, and they smell really, really good. Two quick things. One, I suggest when you're making muffins, use the parchment paper. Parchment paper cups seems to be a lot better. They're non-stick, and they're going to be healthier for you than bleached paper. Again, the JAJA Stevioside is the only Stevioside really to use because it is pure product. And that's available at emperorsherbologist.com. It has no bitter taste or nasty taste or anything else. It won't change the taste of your product. Finally, on the vanilla, make sure that when you buy the vanilla extract, read the label and make sure there is no sugar in it. You want sugar-free vanilla extract. So it would just be the vanilla that's in alcohol. And now let's go to the magic of the muffins. And we'll take these out. They did rise a little bit. And the smell of them smells delicious. What I do is I like to take a rack out from the oven, put it on the counter, and then set the muffin holder on the onto the rack and let it cool. Next time what we'll be doing is blueberry muffins. Yeah, I'm on a muffin kick this time. Enjoy, and let me know if you have any questions.